What have you heard about Cambodia ancient temples, the peaceful waters of Tonle Sap, or the squeaks of giant rats sniffing out landmines to missile launchers being deployed from the growing threat of the H5N1 bird flu to soldiers being called up amid rising border tensions with Thailand? Zones across Cambodia areas virtually exempt from taxation. Number 1. Cambodia Autonomous Region. There are now more than 64 special economic zones across Cambodia areas, virtually exempt from taxation and legal oversight. These zones operate in a legal gray space, becoming fertile ground for transnational cybercrime, human trafficking, and money laundering networks to thrive. Behind the glass walls of modern office buildings that glow day and night are vast online scam compounds running like factories. Hundreds of thousands of individuals from Thailand, India, Pakistan, Indonesia, and many other nations have been deceived, abducted, or sold into these operations. They are not employees. They are victims of forced labor, held captive until families pay a ransom. Or else they face torture, abuse, and in some cases, death. The United Nations estimates that more than 100,000 people are enslaved in Cambodia alone, as part of a broader picture across Southeast Asia. A recent raid uncovered the terrifying scale of the crisis. Over 100 Thai nationals, 50 from Pakistan, 48 from India, and others from Indonesia and Taiwan were freed from inhumane conditions. These crimes do not unfold in the shadows by accident. They often operate with the silent approval of their corrupt government officials. Special rapporteurs from the United Nations Human Rights Council have warned that once victims are trafficked into these facilities, they are stripped of their freedom and subjected to extreme violence, including beatings, electric shocks, solitary confinement, and sexual abuse. Cambodia's cyber scam industry is now estimated to be worth up to 11 billion euros annually, nearly 1/4 of the nation's entire economic output. Jason Tower, country director at the United States Institute of Peace, described the crisis bluntly: Cambodia has crossed a breaking point where the shadow economy is overtaking the legitimate one, leaving the political elite with no real ability to fix the damage. Technology gambling and human trafficking all coexist in these gray zones where the law stands silently aside. But that's the dark side of Cambodia. The version 9 out of 10 people think they know. In the next chapters, you'll uncover a different truth, unexpected, hidden, and rarely told. Number 2. Strange food culture. What's the strangest thing you've ever eaten? For some it might be raw sushi, blue cheese, or fertilized duck eggs. But if you've ever walked through a market in Cambodia, your idea of strange will likely be redefined. By the sight of a steaming cart loaded with crispy crickets, spicy cockroaches, deep-fried tarantulas, and long-dried snakes hanging neatly beside bags of chili salt. In many Southeast Asian countries like Vietnam or Thailand, insect eating is seen as a novelty, an experience for daring tourists or locals with adventurous palates. But in Cambodia, it's not a gimmick, it's part of daily life. Whether you're in a rural village market or on the busy riverside in Phnom Penh Street, vendors proudly display trays of bugs and reptiles as if they were selling spring rolls. This tradition has roots in the late 1970s during the Khmer Rouge regime. Famine swept the country. Millions of Cambodians were forced from cities into remote rural areas. With farms confiscated and food supplies cut off, the forests became their pantry, and insects, grubs, and snakes became essential sources of protein. What began as desperation slowly turned into adaptation. Over time, these once life-saving meals evolved into popular street snacks. Even as Cambodia began to recover and modernize the practice of eating, insects didn't disappear. Instead, it became a recognized part of national cuisine. today long before insects became trendy on tasting menus in Copenhagen. London or Melbourne Cambodians were already enjoying ant silkworms and water bugs as flavorful staples. To them, it's not a trend, it's heritage resilience and a reminder of survival. Snakes in particular hold a unique place. They're not just eaten, they're revered. In Khmer culture, snakes represent Naga, a sacred symbol in both Buddhism and ancient temple mythology. So when a local reaches for a piece of dried snake, they're not just grabbing a snack, they're tasting something steeped in myth and meaning. In Cambodia, food is not just sustenance or pleasure, it is culture, memory, and belief. And if there's one thing this country proves, it's that cuisine will always be a reflection of diversity. Number 3. Palmyra, palm national symbol. Scattered across the countryside, lining village paths and stretching into the distance like ancient watchtowers, the sugar palm isn't just a tree in Cambodia. Officially recognized as the national tree, this towering palm is woven deep into the soul of Khmer life, both as a symbol and as a daily necessity. For centuries, its presence has marked the landscape of the Khmer Empire, tracing the boundaries of homeland and memory. There's a saying in Cambodia, where the Palmyra palm stands, the Khmer house belongs. The sugar palm has come to represent the resilience and quiet dignity of the Khmer people, tall, enduring, and immensely useful. If you were to compare it to a person, it would be someone patient and reliable, someone who gives far more than they take, someone who stands firm, no matter the storm. Every part of the tree is used. The wood builds homes and boats. Its sturdy branches become fences, sandals, and everyday tools. The broad fan-shaped leaves are turned into roof tiles, mats, baskets, fans, and hats. Even the sharp edges of its leaves were once weaponized during the darkest days of the Khmer Rouge. However, in times of peace, the palm provides in gentler ways. Its sweet sap, collected daily from male and female flowers alike, yields about 5 liters per day, offering a steady income for many rural families. That same sap is boiled down into the golden palm sugar sold in markets across the country, filling kitchens with the scent of caramel and heritage. The fruit, black and round, is a delicacy eaten fresh or cooked. For generations, the palm has nourished the body while anchoring the spirit of a people who see it not just as a tree, but as a silent witness to their history. Stand in a green rice field at the start of the rainy season and look toward the horizon. The tall palms rising through the emerald mist aren't just beautiful. To many Cambodians, they are the face of the real Cambodia, unshaken, rooted, and full of life. So what about your country? What tree represents your national identity? Share its meaning with us in the comments below. Number 4. Cambodia Love Huts. Love can begin with a glance, a shy hello, or a quiet moment between strangers in a noisy world. But in the Kriung community of northeastern Cambodia, love often begins in a small hut, built by parents offered to their teenage daughters and meant to be a safe personal space where relationships are not only allowed, but gently encouraged to grow. There are no early arranged marriages, no pressure to choose quickly, only quiet evenings and long conversations where young girls learn to listen to their own hearts. Boys may come and go, but intimacy is not the focus. Attention, trust, and mutual understanding take center stage. What sounds shocking to outsiders is to the Kriung an act of deep respect. They believe that when girls are trusted, they develop the wisdom to choose well. Kriung girls are not taught how to love through rules or warnings. They learn through experience on their own terms in a space that belongs only to them. and perhaps because of that, divorce is almost unheard of. More importantly, the social problems that haunt many women elsewhere, such as abuse, coercion, or toxic control, rarely appear in these villages. But time is shifting, and the world beyond the forested hills is getting louder. Television screens and internet signals are reshaping the way the younger generation sees themselves. Young Kroung now dye their hair bright orange, wear jeans, follow online trends, and in doing so are slowly forgetting the sound of gongs, the feel of bamboo flutes, and the quiet rhythms of courtship passed down for generations. Some marry earlier than ever, not because they have found the right person, but because modern life pushes them to settle before they understand what they truly want. To the elders, Khmer culture often represents material progress. Motorbikes, money, mass-produced fabric, but also a creeping loss of something spiritual and irreplaceable. The question now echoes in the mountains. Can the love huts survive a world that moves faster than the heart can learn to trust? Or will they fade quietly, remembered only in stories told around fires that no longer burn like they used to? Number 5. Sinful gambling paradise. You might never have been to Las Vegas, but a walk through Cambodia's Sihanoukville or the border town of Phoi Phet might just feel even more surreal, and in some ways, far more dangerous. Glittering towers, neon lights, tight-lipped security guards, and whispers of stories no one dares to tell. This is not just a gambling destination, it's a world of its own. According to the Ministry of Economy and Finance, Cambodia's gambling sector generated approximately $63.1 million in tax revenue in 2024, representing a sharp year-on-year increase. This strong growth underscores the gambling industry's growing contribution to the national economy and its role as a significant source of state revenue. But they also raise concern. Cambodia has granted licenses to 181 casino operators. However, as of early 2024, only about 141 remain active. Many of them, especially in coastal Sihanoukville, are run by Chinese investors. Some operations are clean, but many sit at the edge of legality, blending commerce with organized crime in ways that blur all lines. Sihanoukville, once a sleepy beach town, is now a skyline of glitzy casino towers and tightly controlled compounds. Surveillance cameras and private guards are everywhere. Meanwhile, in Phoi Phet, Cambodia's bustling border zone with Thailand, things took a sharp turn when Thai authorities banned their citizens from crossing the border to gamble. Almost overnight, hotel occupancy in Phoi Phet dropped by over 42%, hitting local businesses hard. Back in 2019, COVID-19 nearly killed the industry, with tax revenue falling to just 15% of projections. But since then, the rebound has been remarkable. By 2023, the gambling sector had shown clear signs of recovery, and it has once again begun to play a significant role in Cambodia's state revenue. Still, the glamour masks the danger. Behind every jackpot is a silent risk. In this world, luck can change in a second, and once you step in, not everyone is guaranteed to step out in one piece. Number 6. Seike, Yant tattoo. In today's modern world, tattoos are everywhere. For many, they serve as bold statements of personality, reminders of memories, or simply art on skin. But in Cambodia, tattooing is something far more profound. Here, a tattoo is not just a design. It is a sacred covenant, a spiritual armor, and a cultural inheritance that speaks to both the body and the soul. Known as Sak Yant, these tattoos are part of an ancient Khmer tradition. The name itself comes from two words, Sakai, meaning to tattoo, and Yant from the Pali language meaning sacred geometrical design or mantra. These tattoos are more than ink. They are a form of protection, a blessing believed to offer strength, guidance, and spiritual power to the bearer. Receiving a sak yant is not a casual appointment. It is a ceremonial rite. The process begins with a blessing ritual usually performed by a Buddhist monk or a respected spiritual master. The recipient is expected to bring offerings such as flowers, candles, or incense, and kneel in a state of humility and reverence. The monk then chants prayers, calling upon spiritual energies to witness and bless the ceremony. Throughout, the tattooing mantras are continuously chanted. These are sacred words, often in Pali or ancient Khmer script, believed to activate the spiritual energy embedded in the design. Each stroke of the needle is accompanied by a prayer. Each dot carries intention. Pain becomes part of the meditation. The experience is not merely physical, it is deeply emotional, even transformative. Every sak yant holds a specific meaning. Some are for protection in battle, others for attracting good fortune, cultivating compassion, or warding off danger. But not everyone is eligible to receive one. Only those who live ethically and with spiritual sincerity are considered ready by the master. This is why, in Cambodia, wearing a sak yant is not a fashion statement, it is a responsibility. Even as the world becomes increasingly fascinated by this sacred art, the essence of sak yant remains deeply spiritual. It is a ritual, a discipline, and a bond between the human and the divine. Carved in silence, guided by faith, and entrusted only to those who truly understand its weight. Number 7. Cambodia's favorite ride. Tuks. They're not taxis, and they're definitely not buses. In Phnom Penh, tuk-tuks are the true kings of the road. Technically, they're called remorque in French, but both locals and travelers call them tuk-tuks, small two-wheeled carriages pulled by motorbikes. These vehicles offer a breezy, relaxed ride and are generally safer than motorcycles, mainly because they move at a slower, gentler pace through the chaos of city traffic. Among honking horns and swirling dust, the tuk-tuk stands out as a different kind of ride. There are no windows and no air conditioning. Just open air, the aroma of street food, and a front-row view of daily life unfolding all around you. The driver isn't just a driver. Often they're part-time guides, storytellers, or even accidental travel companions. But don't let the friendly smiles fool you. When a tuk-tuk driver spots a foreigner, there's often a mental price tag floating above head. It's always smart to agree on a fare before hopping on. Not because the ride is expensive, but because it avoids awkward arguments at the end of your trip, whether outside a restaurant or hotel. If you try bargaining and then walk away, and the driver doesn't call you back, it may be because your offer was too low. Keep in mind that fuel prices in Cambodia are not cheaper than where you come from. Expecting to cross an entire city for $1 isn't just unrealistic, it's also unfair to the driver. Of course, riding a tuk-tuk comes with its own set of risks, and petty theft is one of the more common ones travelers face. It's important to keep your bag close to your body or place it securely at your feet, especially when passing through crowded or less familiar areas. There have been many cases where phones were grabbed straight from people's hands by motorcyclists speeding past from behind. These moments of carelessness can quickly turn into costly regrets, particularly for those who didn't think about purchasing travel insurance beforehand. Tuk-tuks are more than a way to get from one place to another. They're part of the living, breathing culture of Cambodia. Through them, you see not just the landmarks or tourist sites, but the real heartbeat of the city. Each ride becomes a window into the country's soul, raw, colorful, and full of unexpected charm. Number 8. Apsara dance. In Cambodia, dance is not simply art, it is a living thread that weaves mythology, spirituality, and identity into motion. Among the country's most sacred expressions, the Apsara dance stands as a timeless performance that speaks to the very soul of the Khmer people. Rooted in ancient folklore, Apsaras are described as celestial beings of air and water spirits whose gentle laughter and graceful movements could awaken the land, stir the rivers, and bring the forests to bloom. Over centuries, they became revered symbols of prosperity, beauty, and divine femininity. These heavenly maidens appear not only in sacred texts, but also in countless stone carvings adorning the temples of Angkor, their presence frozen in time. Inspired by these legends, Cambodians developed the Apsara dance as both an artistic and spiritual ritual. Originally performed in royal courts to honor kings and deities, it has since become a cultural emblem that connects generations. Today, this sacred dance is performed by women in radiant costumes of silk, gold, and pearls, with crowns that mirror the ancient figures carved into temple walls. Every movement is slow, elegant, and intentional. Each finger bend, each eye shift tells a story without speaking a word. Unlike Western ballet, where energy rises through the toes and leaps into the air, the Apsara dancer is grounded. Strength flows upward from rooted feet, while the arms and fingers trace complex patterns that require extraordinary control and flexibility. Many begin training before the age of 10, and it can take over 15 years to fully internalize the 1,500 intricate gestures that give the dance its expressive vocabulary. Historical records from the Angkor Empire speak of more than 3,000 Apsara dancers serving under King Jayavarman VII, a number that surpassed the population of many cities at the time. Today, the legacy continues through hundreds of performers who bring this divine art form to life in cultural centers, restaurants, and national theaters across Cambodia. Recognized by UNESCO as part of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity, the Apsara dance continues to embody the essence of Khmer civilization. With each slow, fluid motion, it celebrates harmony, beauty, and the enduring connection between earth and sky, reminding us that in Cambodia, to witness an Apsara is not simply to watch a dance, but to feel the sacred pulse of a living tradition. From love huts where young women choose their life partners, to sacred Yant tattoos inked with centuries of belief, from the graceful Apsara dance echoing through temple halls to trays of fried scorpions and snakes sizzling on the streets. Cambodia is anything but ordinary. This is a land where light and shadow exist side by side, where ancient traditions breathe through the modern world, and where every corner hides a story that makes you stop. Reflect and quietly whisper to yourself, "I've never seen anything like this before." Now it's your turn. What impressed you most about Cambodia? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoy journeys like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to NVL Travel Documentary for more immersive stories from the world's most fascinating places.